viewers, welcome back to this NPTEL course on professional development, effective learning for professional development. Last class, in week 5, last class we have just started the discussion about the professional ethics and code of conduct, and to continue with that, now we will continue the other aspects of that professional code of conduct and ethics. Now, I can say that what is the purpose of code of ethics? Okay, we have already discussed about the purpose of code of ethics. So, the system primarily all our goals, all ultimately all the organization's goals, social goals are primarily sustainable development. So, the purpose of code of ethics, why the code of ethics is being encouraged in organizational context is that sustainable development of an organization is the primary purpose of all ethical codes. Okay. Some of the, because ultimately our goal is that how to achieve the sustainable development within the organization, in the across the organizations, in the ecosystem, in the planet earth, etc. And some of these goals are the goals of codes of conduct, why it is being initiated, it is being practiced, it is being focused in the organization. Is first is that it has to ensure compliance with the laws and the rules, because it has to be compatible with the rules, laws, regulations, organizational laws and regulations, and the governance laws and regulations. So that is the first thing, how to ensure compliance with the laws and rules. That is why the code of ethics have been introduced. So, and then second is that to promote an ethical and predictable environment. Unless and until we follow certain discipline, certain or streamline our code of conduct, our works and our practices, etc., we cannot develop a compatible and a cohesive environment, work environment. So, how to build that ethical and predictable environment? For that we need to introduce this, need to follow this code of conduct. So, and again also it also helps us in addressing the needs to enforce the ethical values and guidelines. At the same time, it is also important for the organizations, for the employers to emphasize on, to enforce on these ethical values to be practiced following the guidelines. So, it also offers the clear rules, guidelines for both the international communication among the internal communication among the stakeholders as well as the external communication. So, it promotes trust among all the stakeholders, primarily basically how to establish the credibility, authenticity of that organization, that is through code of conduct, professional code and ethics, etc. Then how these are being practiced. It is not for advocating it, but it is also being to practice it. So, it promotes automatically it promotes the trust among the stakeholders. It also enhances the brand image of the organization, and and organizational ethical stance in the market, in the business ecosystem. All these are important. So, a code of conduct is essential for any company. Because it sets the foundation of its work culture, its foundation of its legal compliance, foundation of its building the stakeholders trust, foundation of motivating the employees to adhere to the rules, laws and organizational rules and the laws. So, that is the code of ethics. That is why it is very much relevant. So, this is the picture. You can say what is the importance of code of ethics. It fulfills different you can say goals, specific objectives. Like first is that establishing the responsibilities. Unless and until we clearly define it is there, this is your role, that is another employee's role, this is the rules to be followed, this is strategies, action plans to be executed, all these things. So, unless and until it is being made clear, then nobody will understand the responsibilities. For establishing, clarifying the responsibilities of the employees, of the agencies, of the stakeholders, we need to have it. Similarly, if we follow the routine works, daily works, and following the guidelines and the laws and rules of the organizations, then definitely building the integrity and trust. Slowly and steadily, the stakeholders, the customers, the consumers, the suppliers, everybody they start developing the trust on the organizations and ensuring the legal compliance. Or in case of any complication, any conflict, any dissonance, etc. So, the organization must have the clear rules, laws, etc. to legally comply all these things. Guiding the ethical leadership. So far as the leadership is also concerned, that also leaders also are supposed to follow certain ethical guidelines. Now with the globalization, with the in the multiple that means multinational organizations, etc., guiding the ethical leadership. Now leadership can be of different types, but at the same time to lead the large organizations, big conglomerates and international business houses, etc., leadership should also follow ethical guidelines. So guiding the ethical leadership and lowering the ethical misconduct. If everything is clearly mentioned, the code of conduct, ethics, values, laws, rules, protocols, everything is mentioned clearly, then automatically it will be very easier for every stakeholder, every employee, every leader to follow the guidelines clearly, and there will be minimum or the less chaos or conflicts and misconduct. So now there are the three core principles of this code of ethics. First is that integrity. Integrity is the basic of how integrated the organizational values are, how integrated the moral behavior of the employees are. So it means why. So why integrity has been emphasized? Because it upholds the ethical standards under the challenging situation, under the crisis, and how consistently it follows those guidelines irrespective of the scenario. So employees should make wide judgments, they must avoid unnecessary conflict of interest, and behave accordingly by following the code of conduct. That is the integrities within the organizations and organization's relationship with stakeholders. It should be important. It is an important part of these principles. Second is the respect. Respect is the basic principle that is for creating an environment, an inclusive environment, a balanced work environment, so where everybody, every employee, every stakeholder gets the deserving respect, and also mutually they reciprocate it. So to develop nowadays, DEI policies are there: diversity, inclusiveness and equality. Diversity, equality and inclusiveness. So following the DEI policy, again, how to create an inclusive society, inclusive workplace where diversity is there, but it is welcome, it is being leveraged, and so creating an inclusive work environment, balanced work environment where every stakeholder, every employee feels safe and secured in exercising or discharging responsibility. So here the follower principle involves primarily treating the colleagues, customers and stakeholders, suppliers, everybody equally, professionally. So there is no question of offending anyone. There is no irregular behavior, there is no threat, nothing is there. So respectful conduct actually builds the genuine relationship within the workplace, outside the workplace, and it also helps a lot in managing the work related conflict. So after respect, then another is the responsibility. Responsibility means it is that accepting the accountability of each and everybody, each one's deeds and choices. Like responsibility, that when it is being the job responsibilities are being clearly mentioned, clarified to every stakeholder, every employee. So they automatically, the employees, the stakeholders, they accept their responsibility, and accepting this responsibility also means accepting the accountability, because you are not only you will be responsible for discharging those duties, also to adhere to the guidelines. So accepting the accountability for one's deeds, choices, works and all kinds of activities that he engages in the workplace. Then employees become more and more aware of their actions, choices and their impacts. So nowadays, as we have already discussed, everybody is every profession, everybody wants to be a professional. So they have to, in every profession, they are having some code of conduct, ethics, guidelines, etc. And in order to prosper, in order to flourish in that world, job world, in that respective service world, organizational world, etc., job world. So every professional, they have to follow these guidelines, this code of conduct and principles. So another different types of code of conduct. First is the compliance based. That means compliance means as it is prescribed in the protocol, in the law book, in the book of the company law. So avoiding any sorts of illegal activities. So first is that compliant based means most of the code of conduct, ethics, etc. are primarily in the organizations, big organizations, etc. It falls under this category, like in the company manual, in the company law book, logbook, everything has been, every specific activity has been clearly mentioned, rules and regulations. So that it's more of compliant based, as it has been prescribed as it has been suggested, mentioned by the organizational law, rule, etc. So, we have to comply it. The stakeholders, the employees, they have to comply it. So, primarily to spell out the exact condition and the steps to be taken by the employees in their work. Along with their job specification, job responsibilities, these rules and regulation, ethics, I think these are also clearly spelled out, clearly mentioned. So, they are supposed to follow. And second type of code of ethics is value based. So, this is primarily it highlights the organization's core values, like when we say that vision, mission, aims and goals of the organizations, it is primarily mentioned there. It is primarily there in the vision and mission, their values, the core values. They believe in maybe in humanity, maybe they believe in sustainability, they believe in creativity, they believe in innovation, or they believe in empowering others. So, that is the core value of that organization, which highlights these which highlights in their mission statements and vision statements. So, that is the value code based on the ethical conduct that often reflects in the company's honesty, integrity, respect and fairness. So, it is more of what the organization stands for, what the core value the organization believes in. So, it has been primarily mentioned in the vision and mission statements, and it reflects companies you can say USP, that is its unique proposition, unique point, unique status, unique strategy, that is honesty, integrity, respect and fairness, all these things. So, every company they focus on and they boast their ethical code of conduct, like in which respect, what they emphasize most, what they require, they want, they expect their employees to practice all these things kinds of. So, the subjects can be maybe that some organization they are focusing more on, it can be focusing more on the corporate social responsibility or environmental sustainability or sustainable energy, or empowering people through education, health facilities, anything can be, that is their core value. So, it is primarily it is being mentioned in the you can say the vision and mission statements. Like I am giving the example, like for example Tata company, it is not just a very old, the oldest business house in our country, but Tata has created that brand. Tata has been successful in building the trust among its stakeholders because of its social responsibility, social services, empowering others, and all kinds of this civic services that it provides to the in the locality, in the community, in any locality it has developed a plant. So, that means they totally develop the whole township. So, so Tata company is very much popular, its brand image has been in CSR and sustainability. So, another is that profession specific. So, some code of conduct primarily applies to specific professions, like for the doctors, for the lawyers, and for even for IT engineers, or for maybe that people from the defense, or maybe from people are from the finance, statistics and finance, accounts department, etc. They, depending on the nature of their job, their specification has been mentioned. So, they have some specific profession specific code of conduct, which are there beyond this general kind of code of conduct. So, for different professions there, like in teachings it is something else, in law in practicing the law it is also another, for the doctors, for the engineers, so that is profession specific. Like just like the domain skills are there, core skills are, it is primarily job specific, employment specific, discipline specific. Similarly, some of the code of conduct ethics are also profession specific. So, the profession specific regulation primarily express that professionals the ethical obligations to their clients, to their colleagues, to their public, to their stakeholder. That is what they are supposed to do, how they are supposed to serve, reciprocate or attain and help out their customers. Then another is that content focused primarily defines the rules precisely. So, it gives a kind of straightforward instruction that lead to ethical behavior amongst the organization's member. It is very clear cut instruction, like we can say in discipline, in defense, in police, and in some of the most prominent and very this kind of security related organizations, they are where which is everything has been specified, that is the content focus there. It is either it is relating to crime branch or police, or any kind of security things, etc. It has been clearly mentioned. It's very straightforward in instruction. So here the codes that ensure that the staff knows what is expected of them, and how to apply this, how to practice this in case of emergency, in case of challenges, and resulting the shared understanding of the moral behavior. That means not only they should know, but they should perform, they should execute, they should manifest this kind of things, and share this understanding of the moral behavior, that everybody is being guided by the moral principles and they behave, they practice it actually. So this is the content focused. So this is the example. There is an example that Google company primarily encourages its employees. There are many ethical values, standards, etc., out of which the most prominent ethical value they encourage their employees to adhere to, that is to act with honesty and transparency. Everything should be very clear, transparent to every stakeholder, and honesty, to act with honesty. So they advocate for honesty and transparency to be the core value of the company, and they also focuses on the respect, fairness, and doing what is right, rationality, and it also applies to the and applies all, that means applies same standard to all employees, vendors, suppliers, contractor, boss, everybody. That is the parity, that equality, parity in terms of practicing those values for everybody. So now this is the model, you can say, importance of code of ethics. Now how, if we follow, it is just like the discipline. Code of conduct ethics is just like the discipline, rules and law regulations. Like if we follow, if any company, any organization follows it, then not only it helps in managing the people, but they will be able to work for the development of their stakeholders and the people. So it promotes, first thing is that it promotes respect and fairness. So all these, that is code of ethics contributes maximally to the work culture. So promotes respect and fairness among the employees, guides the ethical leadership also will be followed, will be guided by this principle. Resources, legal risk. So all, for every kind of risk, challenges, all kind of legal complications, they have the solution. So they are clearly as per the constitution's law, as per the government's policies, as per the business policies, etc., they are strictly following these things. That is, that helps them in overcoming the risks. Encourages accountability. The more and more you practice, any organization, any individual, any professional practices this code of ethics, etc., it enhances not only your sense of self-efficacy, your effectiveness, your efficiency, but also accountability. Like you think yourself to be responsible for your customers, for your consumers. So it encourages accountability. The sense of accountability, transparency, accountability, it comes automatically, develops within the among the employees, and supports the decision making. If everything falls in the guideline, in the rules, and can be streamlined, then it becomes easier and quicker to take the decision. So in decision making, it reduces unnecessary conflict, unnecessary wastage of resources, time, etc., etc. So that is the code of ethics, is the very important in even not only in organizations and the institution, but also in our individual life also. In our individual life as a professional, we follow these guidelines to whichever job we are opting for, then automatically it helps us not only to resolve the conflicts, to avoid the conflicts, but to also to maintain our cognitive consonance, balance, peace of mind, work-life balance, everything. So now the purpose of code of ethics is that this is the framework you can follow, that is the professional codes, how it caters to the different kinds of requirements, etc. So the purpose of code of ethics that it helps the employees to understand what is acceptable, because suppose you are venturing into a new organization, every organization they have their code of conduct, protocols, etc. When you step into a new organization, new company, etc., automatically by going through the rules, regulation, code of conduct, it brings clarity to you that what you are supposed to do, what you are expected to do, what not to do. So automatically it creates a kind of honesty, fairness among the employees, customers and business because the relationship ultimately it enhances not only the legal compliance, but the relationship, interpersonal relationship among the colleagues, customers, consumers, stakeholders, everything. So, it ensures people that they should act responsibly, respectably at work. So, it automatically reduces the bad behavior, unnecessary behavior, or like all kinds of unethical kind of cheating, lying, etc., etc. Legal compliance is there, makes the business more look like most trustworthy business, ethical business. Automatically it reflects in the brand image of the company, because even though the customer, some of the customers, consumers are not directly related, some of the stakeholders are not directly related to the workplace, but still they are observing, every moment they are observing and they are evaluating the company's state of affairs, and so it affects the brand image. So, it also helps the employees to make the right choices in the most critical situation, difficult situation, or you can say in the case of crisis also. So, any professional code is based on some specific laws. The principles may differ from profession to profession, as we have just discussed. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, scientists, they have different kinds of professional code of conduct besides some general thing. At the same time, some general principles, however, irrespective of the professional differences, etc., some general principles are very important and relevant and authentic for every profession, like sense of your sense of responsibility, your integrity, loyalty, honesty, fidelity, that is reliability, how reliable you are as a professional, respect to others. And like when we say that competition is there, competition is inevitable, but healthy competition, when we talk about the healthy competition. So, following the law, being rational, being compassionate, being ethical, being moral, and avoiding any kind of harm to anybody or others. So, these are some of the general principles which every profession takes into account, because beside they may have some job specific, profession specific different kind of principles, some special other kinds of code of conduct, but these principles, etc., these are general, it is common to every profession. Now, the key elements of the code of conduct is that code of conducts are developed individually for each organization. So, when the organization they develops their vision, mission, action plan, all kinds of things, they automatically all the board member they sit together and they develop the code of conduct that is relevant for them, for the particular organization. So, they develop individually, every organization develop their own kind of code of conduct. However, the key components that stays across all the organization is that employees must follow certain universal or global universal values, that is honesty, trustworthiness, loyalty, objectivity, respect. These are the common global universal, you can say, when we say the universal values and code of conduct, that should every organization, every professional should follow. Now, ethical principles and values, definitely if it is followed, then properly, then definitely it enhances, ensures the integrity, honesty, professionalism, etc. Now, it helps a lot in decision making also. In decision making framework, when the ethical framework values are oriented, then ethical decision making framework automatically comes in, and there are different areas in. So, it becomes easier for the organization. It becomes easier for the employer to resolve the conflicts, maybe in finance or HR or operation or any sector or CSR, anything. So, it becomes very clear. So, with the incorporation of ethical values, professional values, code of conduct, the decision making also becomes very easier, positive, constructive. And sometimes what happens, in case of some extraordinary, some unique or something uncommon situation, the enforcement and the compliance mechanisms are also there, like in terms of penalty, in terms of if you are deviating, if any professional, any employee deviates that things, so there may be some kind of penalty, impose the sanctions on the employees, penalty, all kind of thing, that provision is also there. That is so that so that is why we say that the punishment laws, that means sanctions, should be very strict, so that nobody can take this code of conduct or ethical standards of the company very casually. So, in order to make the employees, stakeholders serious, so there must be some kind of sanction, imposition of sanction, penalty, all these kind of thing. Now, how to develop the code of ethics, for example, for the organization and institution, how to develop it? First thing is that set your priorities. Any company who intends to develop, they are planning, they are organizing, they are starting their business, be it startup, be it a small organization, MSME, whatever. First of all, they have to set their own priorities. So, identify the key values you believe in, because suppose you as a company may be service oriented company or FMCG company. So, who are your first hand customers or the stakeholders? Who are major stakeholders? Who are your consumers? So, what they require, what depending on their requirement, depending on their well-being, etc., then you have to identify the certain key values that will guide your business. So, ensure the ethics that match the company culture, industry standards, quality of life, well-being of your consumers, etc., and accordingly you make the rules very clear and easy to follow for everybody, for every employee. So, set the priorities and accordingly set your key values. Second is that ask the employees, you ask the employees for the suggestions. From time to time you hold the meetings with your board members, with their colleagues, with the departmental heads, and even from the field workers also do a survey, get the feedback from the employees, every kind of thing. So, after rigorous discussion, then what are the real life workplace challenges they are facing, everything, then you come to the conclusion, suggestion or consensus that yes, these are the difficulties that we are facing. Very often we are facing in the consumer front, customer front or supplier front or the investor front. So, then we have to follow, then ensure the rules that are fair and apply to everyone equally. So, equality, even the diversity is there, equality and inclusiveness should be there. Assign a responsible person. Like for the ethical compliance, when we are designing, preparing these laws of conduct and etc., assign a person. Like in the companies, for every type of work, for every section of work, for everything there is a manager. So, assign a responsible person for for code of conduct, ethical compliance, etc. So, assign a responsible person for this. Choose a trusted leader or the HR manager. Primarily HR people, they look into this and ensure that they should communicate the guidelines both verbally as well as the written, in the written document clearly. The language should be very lucid, very unambiguous, everything should be clearly mentioned in the guideline and it should be clearly communicated to everybody. So, keep the code of conduct and ethics updated from time to time. Also it has to be updated. Now, with the changing government policies, with the changing scenario, global changing geopolitical situation, changing business, etc., keep the code of ethics more updated to reflect the workplace changes. Like initially we are the national organizations, then become the international, then now the global organizations. Every business house is the global business house. So, looking at the global scenario, global stakeholder, global employees, etc., you have to update your code of conduct and ethics also. Then another point is that have the trusted point of contact. Make a space where the employees can ask for the guidance. If they are facing any conflict, any doubt, any incongruence, any dissonance, then they can quickly, that is why in the organization so many helplines are there, help desks are there. So create a space like that where the employees can directly go and speak and clarify their doubts. So, know how the report of ethical concern, make sure that employees know how to report to the ethical concern. Like if there is something happens in a department in a particular day or in a particular session, etc., if something untoward has happened in a system, in a section, in a department, then how to report it, what are the ethical guidelines, how to report it, that is also important. So, ensure that the process is very confidential and protects employees from retaliation. That means it should be transparent, it should be equal, it should be transparent, it should be disciplined, it should be equal, it should be rational, objectively followed, so that there will not be any kind of doubt, any kind of grievance, any kind of things which should not be left unaddressed. Okay, left unaddressed. So, otherwise it can also create a kind of unhealthy disbelief among the employees, and they may, with the chronic things, it can also result in retaliation and any kind of protest and unrest also. So, why should the business create a code of ethics and things? It is also mentioned here. Consistency in decision making, it definitely helps a lot in decision making. Consistency, stability, it builds trust and credibility among all the stakeholders along with the employees and suppliers, etc. it reduces the legal and compliance task. Nowadays, with globalizations, unless and until we are changing our laws and rules and regulations, very often we are facing many kind of complaints, many kind of legal legal issues, ethical issues, many kind of chaos also. So how to reduce this legal compliance? That is a compensation management, disaster management, risk coverage, all many things, everything should be clear. So it automatically, if it is mentioned clearly, then it reduces the not only the cost, the time, but also complications also. Now another is the shapes the positive workplace culture, where if this legal aspect, this ethical aspect has been addressed properly, and all the complicated conflicting issues have been addressed properly, then definitely it becomes a positive environment ecosystem to shape the workplace culture. So automatically it boosts, it promotes the work culture to make it more healthy and conducive and positive. And also automatically, if the work culture is very positive, definitely it improves the employee engagement, employee well-being, employee commitment, employee citizenship behavior, everything. So now I am just concluding this right now at this point. Now we will continue in the next part. Thank you very much.